I'm in Paris actually. What time is it
Paris.
there?
Oh, it's 10 p.m. over here. How about you?
It's still like 4 p.m. in France.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so shall we wait a little more before we start?
Give me 1 second. I will see. Yeah, I think that we can start. Just give me a few seconds and just switch into my headphone as well.
All right.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, loud and clear.
Great, great. So very pleased to have you here with us in 9tales. We are very happy to. I think people here don't know, but we will have a very good partnership together, especially for when the alpha version will be released. But
Oh,
very happy to have you with us. Can you just present a bit yourself? What are you doing?
yes. Oh, with pleasure. Well, hello everyone. My name is Frank. I'm the co-founder and lore keeper of Unimegas, the Apeiron. And a bit about myself. I wasn't a game developer. We developed Apeiron 6 years ago, but that's the only time I've been in game development. Before that, I was a private equity investor and management consultant. So I entered the gaming industry because I just love games. I play games very competitively before I went to work. And then afterwards, I just kind of played World of Warcraft, which wasn't still play competitively, but it doesn't require that much skill. And then afterwards, it's just mostly paying for mobile games. And yeah, but I really love gaming. So when I found, think it's time, when I got some funding, I decided to well, why not try my hand to develop my own game? But of course, I stumbled around Asia for around 2 or 3 months to find the right team, and after 6 years, here we are. And yeah, very nice to meet you all. And I'm just scrolling through 9tales website, trying to find more gameplay videos. I hear you guys are having a beta launch, or is it already launched?
No, we are releasing the alpha version in the 6th of November of this year.
Oh,
Just one question, please, to the audience. I don't know if you can write in the AMA channel, or can you please just tell me if
I know.
you. I'm just talking to the audience if they can. Yeah, they can. So they can ask question if they want, and you can also share if you have something to share with us. So thank you for this quick presentation. So as I see, we have a real gamer with us. To present myself as well. So I'm a real gamer as well. I played professionally poker for like 3 years. And
Oh,
I know what's playing gaming competitively is. But what do you think about the gaming industry? Uh, what are the? Do you think that people can really win a lot of money with gaming or not? What do you think about gaming industry in general?
gaming industry in general is going through a phase of change. Web 2 is migrating to a games as a service model for quite some time now, but people are still adapting. There's been some fight. But mobile is going more and more mainstream, and NFT gaming is a very early start. If I understand your question correctly, can games make a living? Can games really become a money making thing?
Yes, yes.
I don't think so. Actually, I think in terms of play to earn or play and earn, I think it's good. It's a bonus, but it's not something people can make a living on. I believe, after all, game is just games, and in order to earn, well, you have to go esports or win to earn. I mean, ultimately, gaming is. I do gaming can be a sport. Can be easily addictive sport as well. But just like many sports, only the top tier competitors, the top tier players can really compete and try to earn and make a living. There'll be winners, there'll be losers. That's actually how economies are sustained. And ultimately, um, I think I think earning can be on the side. There'll be trading, there'll be market trading and stuff. Playing and play to earn can be a little side thing, but it can't be the main event. Um, or especially for games that's trying to last or create a more sustainable model in the long run. I believe the idea of earning have to be downplayed while we focus more on the game itself, on the competition itself, and on making the competitions that's fun to watch, fun to play, and the brand and the community that surrounds it has to be a very a happy and fun community. That's actually a lot of this is learned from one of our earliest investors, Singh, who is actually the owner of MT Chimenkat and Saka Saka. This is, I believe, I learned a lot of how what made the early gaming cards one of the oldest games to thrive until this day. Yeah, I think that's my 2 cents for quickie on why
Yeah.
on how games can earn.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. This is completely our vision here in 9tales, and I believe that even top players in esports struggle having making a living with their game, with their knowledge, because they always have to find a sponsor or something to make a living. They cannot really make a living just by playing their daily games. So I think this is something that we wanted to solve
That is
in
true.
9tales by our business model. Yeah, because actually I come from poker, and in poker people can make a living with poker because if they are good enough, if they study the strategy enough. I know many players that really make good living from poker, which is completely not the case for other games like Valorant, League of Legends, or any other game. And this is something that we wanted to bring in here in 9tales, uh, giving the possibility and the opportunity to players playing competitively and also making money from their what they love to do in their life. I mean that everyone here, if you can make money from something you love, is the best. I think it's the it's the best
Oh,
recipe for
do
happiness, I think.
you did you play online or did you play in physical casinos?
No, I used to play online actually, because actually in
Okay,
poker, if you want to have a strategy and play and make a real living, you have to play a lot of games in order to, because we have something in poker called variance. So meaning that even if you play good, you won't always win. So you have to play a lot of hands in order to make the mathematics behind the statistic converge to
they
the
tight.
optimal solution. Yeah, so you have to play a lot of hands, and for this you have to play online. Actually, you can also make a living from by playing live poker, but you have to always play a lot, and it's kind of
Yeah.
you are tired every time because it's a real sport, because you
Well,
have two things. You have the technical side, and I believe you have also the mental, what we call the mental game. So what you should work all the day. You have your routines, you have your diet, what you eat, your sports, etc. So I believe that it's a real sports poker, and I think that even top players playing Valorant or League of Legends are it's like a sport for me, and they have to have daily routines. They have to be strict with their sports, with what they are eating, etc. So but they cannot always make a living. This is for me a big issue in the gaming industry.
well, I got 2 things to say. First is, Dan, are you free this Sunday at this time? We have a poker tournament.
Oh,
uh,
yeah,
originally for
actually, I just saw that. I just saw that in Twitter. There was
originally
like,
for
oh my
NFT
god,
holders
oh my
only,
god.
but if you want, I'll give you the role and then you can just join. uh,
Oh, would be happy to join.
yeah,
Actually,
I'll make
yeah.
sure my I do have some wranglers, some of my community mods here. I'm sure they listen. And please, if just give Stack Overflop his role and invite him to
Nice.
join us on Sunday. But I think they'll be very upset because every time we play poker, it's almost always someone randomly from the public wins instead of our NFT holders and their pyramid. So I have to switch up and sometimes do holders only poker. But still, I want to invite the public, and it's always fun to play with more people. But I
Yeah,
guess, yeah, well, yeah,
actually,
please feel free to
actually,
come.
our community love playing poker as well. We play a lot of tournaments, and we also play joint even we also do joint events with other
Holy
communities. Maybe
crap, let's do
we
that.
have to organize one with you,
Yeah.
of course, and we do kind of community battles between the two communities, and kind of exciting
Oh,
for both communities. So
awesome.
definitely something that we should
We'll love
organize in
to
the
do that.
future, I believe.
Well, even with both our games out, I can still throw in a few poker nights with the communities. Poker is always
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
Yeah, and yeah,
yeah,
well,
great.
nice. Well, I am not a professional poker player. I play a lot, but it's back then when I was in college and fresh grad when poker was really hot back then in 2007 ish, 2007 to 2009. It was really popular, so we played quite a lot. A lot of friends played a lot, but I never really got into it because well, I don't play online. I play live games, and most of the games are with friends, and I hate gambling with friends. It's weird gambling with friends, like taking their money. But no, don't like it. And
Yeah,
um and the second thing I want to talk about is esports. Yes, uh, actually, when esports just came out, like well, exactly 6 to 7 years ago, like well, it didn't came out then, but it sort of grew traction then. And I was a private equity investor back then, and I was the first one to say, "Dude, this is not sustainable, man." I mean, it's sustainable for one or two big companies and platforms, but ultimately the teams and the players, it's not sustainable. It's like the early life of QLs and YouTubers. There's a very few and limited venues with which they can make money, and it's still a risky business, and it it can't scale up to a really big thing. Well, until I learned more about the NFT and Web3, because Web3 is actually, especially Web3 gaming, is actually a great venue with which many esports teams can find that crucial piece that's missing in the sustainability of esports teams. Well, you see in our location in Asia and China, there's a lot of esports teams because the Chinese government actually um, encouraged esports because Tencent uh, entered this agreement with the Chinese government to set up shop and create job opportunities in every major city in China and everything. But ultimately, when I look at all the business models and their balance sheets, there's only one winner, and it's the platforms. It's the main holders who holds the streaming services, the tournaments, the IP rights, and everything. The teams, they get funding, they get a lot of traction and help from initial fundraising. But the long term sustainability of a lot of these teams rests on winning tournaments, hosting tournaments, and getting things done. And this alone is not enough to sustain these teams. And I think they need other sources of revenue other than these competitive gaming. And I think Web3 gaming is the answer to balance this equation. So I think that's also exactly the reason you see so many esports teams and big esports league look more into NFT gaming and sponsor and support these NFT games because it provides them with the much needed steady revenue source that they need. Uh, yeah.
yeah, but I think in the condition to have like a sustainable economy, because we have seen so many examples with some play to earn games that are not sustainable. So how do you think the economy is something really important in the story if we want really to bridge gaming from Web 2 to Web 3? Uh, how much do you think economy is important?
Um, well, I want to further a little bit more. I thought esports team sustainability, not Web3 gaming sustainability back there. So for esports team to be sustainable, they need to partner with Web3 games, and they partner up exactly the same as gaming guilds and any other investor model out there. They don't try to find a sustainable game economy. They just make sure they partner with the fresh new games that have the more hyped economy or better economy out there and keep farming and moving on from one to another. That's their way to, well, to practically say they leech on one model to another and they move on. That's a very speculative and investment ideal model, which is perfectly fine actually. But from a game perspective, from a game developer perspective, of course, we don't think that's good, and ultimately, I don't think any game wants their token economy to be farmed on or mowed on or just leached on like that. So how do we create a economy that's more sustainable? Well, I think I can't say we have a sustainable one. I think everyone is still trying to find one out there. So won't say we have the answer. But ultimately, I think on principle, um, play to earn is cannot be the mainstream focus of the tokenomics. And I think in any economy that has to sustain has to have winners and losers. And win to earn is actually a very sustainable model, especially a win to earn model that requires players to spend the tokens to level up and remain competitive. This in itself is sort of more sustainable, although in the long run it will still rupture if the game don't develop new things, new content, new gameplay methods. But win to earn is definitely more sustainable. Play and earned, there can be, we do have our play and earn and play to earn side and Apeiron as well, but it's really just earning as a bonus, like not earning as a living. To make a living, you have to win, not just individually, but as a team. There will be a certain and large competition uh, involved, and and the true sustainability is by for us is one uh, to focus on the winners and losers, and two, it is to just be careful with the economy and not and just be very stingy in the beginning as we monitor the markets. That is the easiest way to put it. We we don't actually go for Dutch sale, or we don't go for play to earn to be per se. We our economy is designed so that players can earn something, but it would definitely be not enticing. It's actually more profitable for them to use the tokens in game or in staking pools to earn different types of NFTs and items, which actually yields them more income another way, will educate them, and then will also involve a lot of competition to make sure that they remain competitive. And and so back to the point is, yeah, uh, I'm lost in my train of thoughts suddenly because I'm staring at a bread. Um, okay.
Yeah, but I totally understand actually because it's exactly the same vision that we have here in 9tales. I think that it's really hard and difficult to have a sustainable economy if you give everything to everyone without having losers, as you said. Because I think this is the main important point to have a sustainable economy. Exactly like in poker, if you don't have losers and winners, you cannot have. A sustainable economy, and you are just building a ponzi if you are not doing like this. For me, this is just my personal opinion, but I totally agree with you and with your vision, because it's exactly the same for us. Just maybe one question regarding your experience. What do you think about now we see a lot of people making new games, new NFT games? Do you think that what is the experience needed to make games, successful games, especially in the NFT space?
Well, to put it bluntly, NFT-based gaming is. I'll talk about the technical first. It's fundraising. NFT is great for fundraising back in the bull market. It's horrible, absolutely horrible now. But back then, when it was the bull market, NFT is like Kickstarter on drugs. So Kickstarter is also a way to fundraise for many small studios. But yes, for NFT games and for all gamings in general, if you fundraise via Kickstarter or public fundraising or NFT funds, then you are actually doing two lines of development, not just one. For most games, they don't have to publish cinematic trailers, or they don't have to work on the polished art, UI, and UX before the game, closer to the game launches. But with Kickstarter and fundraising, you need to do all these artwork. You have to hire more artists compared to developers. Traditional game developers don't have so many artists, but because you have to keep up with the communications, the public image, and the fundraising and reporting to your early investors, you have to divert the second line. And then the other side would be you need community management. You need to run. You have to mod. You have to do a little marketing. You have to know these. So it really eats into a development budget. So you need more than average, if not a little double the original development costs. It's actually very costly, and so it sort of, in my eyes, justifies some of the mega races in the space right now. Um, but ultimately, this is the beginning. You fundraise, you keep the community lively, you keep it with the updates, you listen to the community what they want, and you have to find ways to keep the community engaged and helping your product. Because with NFTs, players actually have a lot more interest aligned with the developers because both the player and the developer wants to make sure that their NFTs sell. So it's a very strong force. It is actually one of the forces so strong that that it really synergizes well with brand development. You see a lot of games back then, a lot of Web2 gamers who hated mobile games and even hates NFT games more. They have a lot of brand loyalty to old time Web2 games and Steam and Nintendo consoles, back Blizzard era. That's because a lot of these games before mobile players paid for them before they play. So the tutorials can be made a lot better, a lot more storytelling involved, and users are more patient because they already paid. They don't mind moving from one to another. So there was a lot of brand loyalty and time that users are okay with to look into the story, to study, and there's a lot of brand recognition there. But with the rise of mobile gaming, when everyone is vying for eyeball and attention, that there's the social media age where instant gratification is a must, brands are very hard to build. You're going to see a lot of games making a ton of money and then they just move on. There's no new brands. There's very few mobile game brands that can stand the test of time compared with the large amounts of mobile games that come out nowadays. But but back into NFT, when all these people have to invest and look into the projects before it's out, they build such a huge brand loyalty. And then because they also want to sell their own NFTs, they become part of the loyalty. It is a very, very strong and powerful force that 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 even Web2 realizes. If you look into, I do some Web2 games, and we are pretty close to Hong Kong's Google, and so we talk a lot. And they say, well, the old user acquisition model is dying. The new user acquisition model, the digital marketing, is all focused towards community building and KOL marketing. This is actually exactly something NFTs and Web3 can really excel on and is at the top right now. I'm not sure if this can last for Web3, but this is actually something that if you want to develop NFT games and you want to look into digital marketing, this is the forefront of everything. And and in order to remain competitive and to stay competitive, one just have to keep up with the must keep up with the developments and keep up with the marketing and make sure that they can publish the game with quality and with the right angle and with the right patience to do so. Oh my god, I absolutely digressed. I hope I'm still on point. Sorry about that. Um, will you mind uh, pulling me back on the thread? Oh, did I
No,
lose you?
no,
No.
no, no. We lost you for like few seconds, but now we can hear you.
No. All right.
Okay,
So I
so
was okay.
yeah, so thank you. I totally agree with you actually, and I have another question. What do you think is the main important point to build a game? Is it like to have a good art, to have good game mechanics, to have good marketing, to have a good team? What do you think is the main important point to make a really successful game, especially in the Web3 space?
Hmm.
Or maybe all of
Um,
this. That's
Well, I was just swallowing the piece of bread. Um, well, the game designer, the chief game designer, who designed our God game aspect, is named Trevor. It's one of the oldest game developers from the Hong Kong game developer eras. Also, award-winning game designer. And I was chatting with him, and he told me in order for a game to be successful, well, he was talking about Web 2, but I think Web 3 also applies. There are three things that you can do. First is to find a game model that's extremely new and novel and unique. That is one angle. The other angle is to find a game model that's very fun to play. That is, well, the gameplay is fun, just pure fun. And the third model is the game is very profitable. Some of you may think that these three go hand in hand, but they don't. A profitable game does not necessarily mean it's fun or does not necessarily mean it's unique. A unique game, while new and everything, does not necessarily mean it's fun to play or profitable either. And a very fun game does not have to be unique, and a very fun game may not be profitable as well. If you satisfy any one of these three conditions, you have a good game. If you satisfy two, you have a great game. If you manage to satisfy all three, then you have a smash blockbuster hit. These are the three essentials. So to go deeper into these three sections, well, a profitable game is, well, a monetization model that's very deep, games as a service, free-to-play packages, paywalls. These are all great monetization models. They don't entail great gameplay. More often than not, they get a lot of scrutiny, but yes, they get a lot of money. And a unique game, well, there's a lot of games that's with a lot of uniqueness. People and the entire industry craves new and uniqueness, but also if you look into the world today, if you look into the movies, well, creativity is as a pretty stop because there's a lot of conglomerates up there merging. So publishers tend to like to do remakes, sequels, prequels, and because it's safer. And so new ideas, you don't see a lot of them nowadays. But new ideas is always the market always grows, especially with the internet, with social media, content creation, and new content's consumption speed is so fast and so quick that and new content is always constantly on the rise. And so unique ideas will also have a place. But can they be profitable? Definitely not. One of the main reasons is because new ideas and new gameplay mechanisms require double to triple the amount of development costs. A lot of games thrive on copying off one another because programming and game design is actually a lot easier if you just directly copy. Creating something new is actually extremely cost inefficient. So people don't like to go and create new things unless they know that they have to invest in with the right amount of time and resources. And more often than not, the most novel games, even the early black and white one and two, they were huge hits, great revenues, but they only made a draw. They were not profitable at all. Um, so, yep. And then lastly, a fun gameplay. A fun gameplay mechanism is almost always a proven gameplay mechanism that we've known all these years, ever since we played Nintendo or PlayStation or PC games. The fun formula is always here. We know these, just in different wrappers and wrappings. We can recreate them, we can remodel them, but a lot of times these are just down to the very core basics of personal growth, uh, strategy, and reaction. There's a lot of these gameplay mechanisms that can thrive, but a fun game also entails a lot of different things: fairness, storytelling, and a lot of these don't necessarily entail profit. Storytelling is actually one of the most important but least efficient departments in gaming because stories in my eyes is responsible for the first and the last step of a user's experience. They get drawn in by the artwork, by the stories, by the elements, but they stay mostly, especially in the middle of the time, it's because of leveling. you'll notice if you play any mobile games or any online games that you like to take a look at here and there, to explore in the beginning. You like the story, you like the chick, you like that girl, the characters, but slowly it becomes more focused on leveling, getting past the level, getting past the boss, um, grinding the numbers up. It's a great grind. A good grind is always happy, seeing your levels go up. It's self improvement. The focus slowly shifts from the graphics and everything, and you'll even turn down the graphics mode, or you'll even go on to the auto mode or the raid mode to quickly sweep the levels just to ensure you get the rewards instead of playing through each stage because well it gets repetitive. So yeah, but then at the end, when you grow attached to a brand and everything, it's actually such as Blizzard games, like always says. It's the story. I buy every Blizzard game that's out right now. I don't even have time to play them, but I just buy them and just look at the story. Or I just buy them to own them, actually. I look at the story and wiki if I don't have time to play it. But it's these stories that stick, and at the end, I remain and I come back because of the story. But in the middle, it's tough. So storytelling is great, it's unique, but again, the time you invest into great stories, especially really good ones, is inefficient. But well, I'm a very crazy guy, and I have a very crazy dream. So we try to fulfill all three, and we spend the time and resources to try and develop each. Even though it's inefficient, it may be more efficient to create a game system and just keep remodeling and reskinning. But I think in the long run, if a game becomes a brand, that's when well that makes the whole point of founding the company and doing something great entails. And I founded this company based on this actually because I I saw the mobile game business boom when I went entered private equity in 2009 and watched the mobile industry is very profitable. Great games are getting better and better, but for some reason I don't see a great game. I will play a game, I'll enjoy it, and then the developers will move on to other games instead of further developing this one game into what it could be. Well, but after all these years, I understand because, well, even World of Warcraft, I mean, after so many expansions, it loses steam over time. And the cost to develop new content on one single game versus developing new content on another is actually more profitable to reskin or to start a new product and get traction there because people do get bored, no matter how fun the gameplay or the brand is, if you just continuously focus on creating content for the same game. But if you do create content for the same game over and over, and if you stay, the light at the end of the tunnel is you become a brand image. You get into movies, you get loyal fans and communities, you expand into other franchises. There's a huge potential that is a lot more sustainable and cost efficient in the long run compared to jumping from one game to another. I'm not saying it's bad. Mobile game industry, many more great mobile games do this. They jump from one game to another, creating new games, reskinning, and everything. It's a good business model. It's actually very viable with play to earn, actually, where you keep creating new economies and moving on, new economies and moving on. But but if I want to do that, I would have just invested in one of those games. I wanted to create a company myself and I want the company to sustain. I don't want to create a gig business that jumps from one game to another. I want the team to remain. I want the team to grow together with the brand. So yep, that's that. Oh my god, I think everyone is asleep. Maybe we should
Yeah,
jump to the
no,
next
no, no,
question.
no. Very interesting, very interesting. Thank you so much. I have just one other question, please. Do you think how much do you think art is important to build a game? Would you, for example, play like a very fun game like a Snake, but with pixels with no good art, even if it's like something like very profitable? Do you think art is really important to have a good game, especially now in 2022?
Um, Honestly, it's like asking, is it, well, not to be sexist, but is it important to be attractive in this world? I mean, I would have to say yes. The beautiful girls and guys often is easier and pleasing to the eyes, and it's definitely a big plus. But its innate qualities are important. Well, of course, innate qualities are important. Snake is a fun game. I'll play Snake in any pixel or any game, uh, provided I don't have a choice. But if there's choice and there's the same game over and over, then of course I'll pick the one that looks better. Um, but it also defines into the system which gameplay system lasts longer, everything, and there's also reviews. But art, I believe, is actually it's one of the most important factors. To be condescending, but yeah, if you ask me, well, Web3, one of the main things about Web3 is not going mainstream is because a lot of Web3 games have subpar art compared out there. I mean, pixels and everything and voxels can be retro, can be reminiscent, can be interesting, but you can't have every single game pixelated or voxeled out there. I think there are still games that the Unreal Engine and Unity Engine has been in development so rapidly. The tools and the patches and the art sets are so accessible. It's really it's really worth looking into creating better artwork and everything. Well, 9tales has a very unique artwork, actually, let me say,
Thank you.
and I think it's it would be it is actually one very essential, and I think Apeiron's artwork is also amongst the better ones. Not claiming AAA anywhere. Hate saying AAA because we are not AAA, but we have great artwork as well. Well, I wouldn't say great; it's subjective, but we have very unique artwork that I think will be interesting to others. And yes, so if you ask me, yes, artwork is probably a very, no matter how superficial I sound, well, come on, artwork is the first and foremost thing that appeals to people. Um,
Yeah, I agree with you. Maybe just one other question before I let people ask
uh,
questions. Do you think that every game has a lifespan? Like I used to play before Clash of Clans and Clash Royale, etc. But after 3 years, 4 years, I was like just bored. Even they keep they were keeping reskinning all the cards. They kept improving everything, but after 3 years, 4 years, I just stopped playing this game. And I think it was the same for many games before, like Snake, as I explained. But we have a lot of examples. For me, it's like after 3 years, 4 years, it's a bit harder to continue the game. What do you think about this point?
sure, games don't last forever, no matter how much service and everything you add with. But if you look at Clash of Clans, actually, it's not just a single game anymore. They've built into a brand. There's Clash Royale, which Brawl Stars is not, but Clash of Clans is getting their own TV series moving on. And they actually have new game modes, although the other game mode I don't really appreciate. It's just Boom
Yeah,
Beach becoming Clash of Clans, but they could develop faster. I mean, 3 years game life cycle is pretty crazy for a mobile game on Clash of Clans game mode. And I think any game that can last, especially in the mobile age, beyond 6 months is already incredible. But the only key to create a sustainable game that can last over and over, well, this actually borrowed heavily from physical gaming cards, and I honestly believe you guys know more on this than us because your entire game is very physical game card oriented. Um, why physical gaming cards lasts is actually because they focus on balancing and they focus on community. Physical gaming cards, after all these years, have survived. Um, well, actually, this is from Sing. There's two things. One is the brand effect, which is not as essential, but because I'll go into that later. But the main thing is it's community management. Many physical trading card games are able to survive to this day because they all focus on good community management before internet was there. There's always events. There's always local dealers partnership events that's happening. People are updated via the right channels, and then gaming physical gaming costs themselves. They don't look into monetization models like others. There are new seasons, and they're new, and each season there are different play styles. There are tournaments, main tournaments that need people to incorporate the new cards, but there are also local minor tournaments that ignore the new cards or ignore certain card types to keep things fresh. And there are always community events, always community competitions, gatherings, clubs that keep this alive. And no matter how small or how innocuous or little resources they invested into these little gaming card communities, they remain and they thrive. And after all these years with gaming and collection and storytelling, and with time, they slowly develop their lore and everything into a brand. And they actually scale up. They find partners. They move on to create, using the same characters, they create games, comics, and stories. And they slowly build their following up. It's actually a very interesting model. And it's not monetization heavy. Um, it's always a choice. If you want to heavily monetize, it sacrifices the brand image. I think everyone knows that, looking at giant game developers and publishers trying to tackle these models and then get shunned on by gamers. But yeah, from a realistic point of view, the larger they go, the larger they need to drink, and they need revenue sources to compete, to remain competitive, to get the best talent. That's the only truth. So for physical gaming cards, they have to sacrifice a lot of the monetization, but they get a much more long-lasting community, and this is where sustainability can come from when you focus a lot of your activities uh, back with the community, making sure every card is balanced instead of creating new sets of cards every 2 weeks or a month to monetize. You fix your eyes on the first season stack, create it, enhance it, make sure everything is great until you release the next season. This is one of the main things that like make physical games so enticing and can last so long. Is this model? Uh, holy, okay, I'm going to stop here. Otherwise, I'll
Yeah, thank
babble on
you.
again.
Thank you very much. Very interesting. Thank you. It's really nice talking to you, to be honest, Frank. Thank you very much. Just maybe to the audience, questions for 9tales will be answered in the AMA after in the Apeiron this Discord, right after this one, actually. So just keep these questions. It will be answered. Erwin will be there for the AMA. If you have some questions for Frank, feel free to ask them now. Uh, so yeah, it's for you now. If you have some questions, feel free either in the AMA or here. You can just raise your hand and we'll let you in to speak to Frank.
Right? I see a lot of people from my own community. Thanks for being here again.
I'm sorry.
So I see a lot of people from my own community, so I'm just thanking them for being here. I think
Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of them are interested in 9tales, so
yeah,
that's why they
yeah,
are
yeah.
asking.
Yeah, I saw that they were asking about 9tales, but everything will be
No,
answered in the AMA after.
well, no one has any questions or anything. I'll just give the usual updates on our Apeiron timeline and things to look forward to. The immediate thing to look forward to is the Sunday poker. I believe we get invited just a new dude here to participate. Good luck, you guys. um,
Yeah, thank
I'll
you.
definitely have fun seeing if your experience can last you through our crazy crowd. And then next Tuesday we have a land mint. That's our stars. Our main unit of play is planets. And so our land are stars and suns where your planets can orbit around them. We've developed a very special land NFT model where it's we claim it to be the first multiple sublet land NFT. Our land have orbit tracks. the sun have tracks that planets can orbit around them. It functions like a building where you can rent multiple apartments to different users. People who live in there. And so our star also have that, where you can rent your tracks to multiple players and users, and earn rent that way. Our rent with this multiple actually creates over 100% um, annual return on the rental yields. So the annual yields, if you calculate in terms of return on investment on a yearly basis, it's over 100% even for the least um, lowest tier star. So it's quite a unique model. It's interesting. And it's also a very audacious mint. I don't think anyone in their right mind when these times are there to mint anything beyond 0.1 or 0.3. Our basic mint comes in 0.5, 0.66. And the most expensive mint is 5. I know it's crazy, and a lot of people are skeptical of what's going on, but to be honest, we're only minting 400 or so pieces of land and stars. And I have a good vibe that this mint will end pretty well because,
Uh, the,
sorry.
do you have an idea about the mint price? I don't know.
Oh,
Already
yeah,
or
the mint price. Yeah, it's 0.5 to 5. It's actually very expensive compared to the standards nowadays.
okay.
But I know a lot of our gaming guild and investors who didn't invest on the NFT packages are looking to earn their own stars. So there's a bunch. And then I also have a bunch of Web2 friends, well, pretty much my own friends, who are always interested in NFTs but don't want to learn about blockchain or all the controls or get lost. Well, I told them about our land and they don't have to do anything and then just sit. And they are all very interested because they are lazy bums who have some money. And so I got a lot of funding. Well, from my close
Great.
friends to buy these stars for them. So I'm pretty sure the wireless mint will go pretty well. So yeah, and then there's also the community with some really local diehard community fans here who owns a lot of planets and they're looking to create their own planet farms or to get their hands on these stars. So yeah, I think things will look pretty fun and great for this coming star mint. And then after the mint will be the game demo. I'm actually going to receive the final version of the game demo tomorrow. I'll comment on it. I'll see if everything's good to go, and then we'll begin optimizing the build. And then during the optimization, I'll also be showing video clips of the games. I'll stream it. I'll let everyone look. Well, I don't know how much I will let people look because I honestly want to keep a little. Well, maybe I'll create a very private screening for some of the holders. But for the public, I'll keep this low because I want the people to see this. I don't want to give too much sneak peeks because it's really different from our YouTube videos. Well, it's not. Yeah, it's actually pretty different. It's a lot better, improved, better controls, better graphics, better response, better UX. So it's something very incredible. Everyone will be able to play it in November. We'll partner with all major Web3 game platforms. You see a lot of Magic Eden, a lot of First games, Rainmaker games, all the big names, biggest Carve or something. All the biggest game platforms will feature us together. It will be a marketing and communication nightmare, but we'll make sure that we'll pop up on every single one of them at the same time, together with this game demo, and let everyone play it together for around a month or so, and then it will be our token launch and our game launch. So exciting times, crazy
Great.
times,
We
and
have one
yeah.
of our holders asking if you are planning to have an alpha version of the game.
What version?
Alpha. If he's
Mhm.
asking if you are planning for an alpha.
We no, we our alpha is done 2 years ago, so but that is for Web 2,
Okay.
and the alpha is actually the version you see on our YouTube trailers. Our 2 videos on YouTube is not cinematic trailers; those are gameplay trailers we made from our game. It's it's pretty well polished back then, but it's even better now. And what you are, well, we call it a demo. We are old school. We don't call it a beta, but now you can assume it's a battle beta that we're releasing now. And yeah,
Thank you very much. So, guys, I invite you to go see their website, look at their trailer in YouTube. They have a link. I don't know if you can share links in the AMA, but I definitely can share it with them.
Um, let me.
Yeah, you can try maybe.
Oh, you can share. Oh, let me try. Mhm. Sorry, I have food on my hands, so I'm slower on clicking.
Okay.
So that's the God game. Oh, it works. I can share links.
Yeah, actually, it was shared in the event news. If you,
Oh, cool. Well, anyway,
yeah,
if you
I
guys
shared
want
it
to
in
take a
the chat.
look.
Yeah, if you want to take a look,
So,
I
yeah,
will share.
the first video is the God game. The second video is the battle. We really tried hard for the first 2 years, I'd say three, to merge the two onto the same map, like to really do real time strategy on the battle on the simulation game map. But we failed because we're trying to do it on the mobile device. It's hard. The UI UX is tough, and the balancing is hard. And well, the team is not that big, so we can't really go for that. So we separated the two into two different mechanisms, and with by separating it, we actually are able to look into esports. So we
Mhm.
detailed a new battle system that's oriented with well, I wouldn't with more competitive and fairness and new and unique as well. And we come up with that system, which is well, it's a mix of Clash Royale, it's a mix of even Dynasty Warriors. It's a mix of Smash Brothers. It's a mix of a little bit of everything, and into a new and unique mode of card-based battle. But it's not turn-based. It's not round-based. It's in real time. You control your avatars like you do in action games. There's an action RPG element in there. It's crazy. So, and it will be even crazier when you see the demo. So, yeah, what you see is what you're going to get. These are not bait and switch videos. These are not cinematics. They're all in game. So enjoy.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I see that you put all your knowledge and all your experience in this game, so which is pretty good. So thank you very much, Frank, for this AMA. It was really a pleasure for me to invite you here in 9tales Discord. I want also to thank everyone in the audience here and also people from Apeiron. Welcome to 9tales. Don't hesitate to ask questions if you have any. We will be happy and glad to answer all your questions. So maybe we can now move on to the AMA inside your Discord, and Erwin will be there to answer all your questions about 9tales. He will give more information about 9tales, about our game, about alpha version. I just realized that I leaked the date of the alpha. Normally it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
announced yet, but I just said it will be
Really?
the 6th of
Cool.
November. But now all the audience here know when it will be released. So, but
Cool. I'll definitely ask your founder. Is the founder coming?
yeah, the founder will be coming. So it's
I'll definitely
his
ask
name is
your founder how to access it, or if he can
yeah,
just give
sure.
me free access.
Sure,
Well, thank you.
definitely we
Thank
will
you
do.
for having me.
I'm very happy for our partnership as well, and I hope that both of our projects will moon very soon. Thank you.
Oh yes. Yep. Thank you, and
Thank
thank
you
you
very
for having
much.
me. Nice meeting
Thank
you
you.
all. See you
Thank
guys
you.
on our
Good,
Discord.
goodbye. See you.
Bye. Guys. Okay, I'm just gonna open up the channel.
Do we want to use the AMA channel so they could showcase your alpha thing?
Um, who can you ask them, or can we invite the the founder up here and see if he would prefer the voice channel. I'm not sure if the voice channel can fit if there are more people though.
If the amount of people is going to be the same as what we have in 9tales, then I think we should fit.
Let's see. Let me open up some of the channels right now. The AMA question is filled with our stuff, so I'll open up a new questions channel for 9tales.
There's one question for 9tales in an AMA channel, actually.
Sure, yeah, there are a lot of questions in 9tales AMA channel. We can bring some over, or I'll just. So I have this channel opened up. People can ask there as well in case. Can view, read messages, free, send messages. Okay. Just above the stage, just the 9tales
Hello.
AMA questions. Hi.
Hello. Normally, Erwin, the founder, is coming very soon.
All right, that's cool. Do you think?
Is it going to be a side?
Sorry, what?
Yeah, I'm just looking for his founder.
What's his name?
Should be either Godfather or Sai. I've invited Sai.
Yeah, we have some of our holders here. It's I as well.
They're gonna show some alpha gameplay. I would love that.
Yeah.
I only had a very brief time playing Hearthstone. I wish I had more, but yeah, was in a big job back then, and then by the time I finished, I already moved on to another crappy pay to win game. But yeah, never really got into Hearthstone for some reason. But actually, one of our battle game designers is a Hearthstone game designer. So yeah, you may see reflections of Hearthstone.
Do you have an AMA channel? AMA questions, right?
Yes, 9tales AMA questions will be
maybe I can share first some sneak peeks of the game. I
sure.
think even our yeah.
That's cool. I'll pin it for you.
So the founder is here.
Cool. Let me take a.
His name is Erwin.
Erwin. Oh, I see him.
Yeah.
Oh, he's up. Hi, Erwin.
Hi. How are you
nice
doing?
to meet you. Good,
Nice
good.
to meet you.
How are you?
I'm good, doing great.
Thank
Thanks.
you for coming.
Thank you, guys.
Exciting. You guys are launching your game until November 6th.
Yes, exactly.
Congratulations.
I think we didn't even do the official announcement to give the date in our own Discord.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But
No,
don't blame me. Stack Overflop said it. I didn't.
yeah, it has a tendency to spoil.
Yeah. I mean, but yes, I'd say for the sake of it, it's around November 6th is always what I say.
Yeah.
There can always be some things, but it shouldn't be deviating away from that. But yeah, something to look forward to. Something to look forward to.
Thank you, guys. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me. Thanks.
Oh, no. My pleasure. And thank you for having me over by your server just now.
Yeah, I saw it. It was I was listening to the AMA.
Oh, you were okay with me babbling on? I have a tendency to just talking on and on by myself.
No, that's
I'm
okay.
Actually...
That's a sign of passion, which is always good.
Thank you. Well, just to be honest, I'm not a very talkative person before I joined Web3, but yeah, fundraising, AMAs, I think I became an extrovert now. Transformed. Anyway, yeah, let me take a look. We got some 60 people. I'll make a small announcement. I'm sure we can get more. Just give me 2 or 3 minutes. I'll type something up in the announcement to get at the crowd, and we'll get some people going here.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we should have some more people rolling in here, and over the next few minutes,
Sure.
like can do some chit chat. Are you from France as well, Warren?
Yes.
Oh, great. How's the weather over there in France? Is it as hot now?
No, it's quite bad. A lot of
Oh, crap.
rain right now.
Oh, a lot of rain. Well, at least it's not as hot. Like,
Yeah, it's okay.
I think you guys had a crypto event like a few weeks ago over in Paris as well. If I
Yeah,
remember
there are
correctly.
a lot of Web3 and crypto events in Paris, like ETC, Metaverse Summit. Binance did a big event in Paris too. So yeah.
Well, before we start the AMA, let me share an interesting story I had in Paris. I went there before I got married, so that's how many years? What year were we? I believe that's 2018 or so that we went to Paris. And the most interesting story is I was walking back to the hotel with my wife, and we were walking across the river, right? And there's this stairs you can walk down to get closer to the river. So we walk. So I say, hey, why don't we walk down closer to the river? And so yeah, we walked down the stairs, and suddenly something dropped on my head. And I was like, hey, is it raining? Doesn't feel like raining. And then somebody behind me on top of the stairs say, it's not rain, it's bird shit.
Yeah,
And,
there are
I
a
was like,
lot.
oh my God. Is that bird shit? And so we were, oh my God, it was behind my back, it was on my head and on my wife's back and everything. And then we're like, just when we were thinking what we were going to do, the guy who's the couple who screamed that said, hey, we have wet wipes. And they conveniently took out wet wipes from their bag, a huge bag of wet wipes, and they kept wiping us. And I said, and we were like, oh, thank you. Oh, like, what a coincidence and everything. And so they wiped us and everything, and then they chit chat, and then we waved our hands and we said goodbye. And then we were walking back to the hotel thinking, oh, what are the odds? We got bird shit on us and everything. But the more we think about it, and then my wife called his dad about it and said, dude, did you guys just get robbed?
Oh.
Oh,
And
so
you did?
actually, no, we didn't. But because we put our wallets very close to our bodies, so it's impossible for them to rob us. But the more we think about it, oh yeah, it's actually they sprayed these chemicals on us. And after they sprayed it on our body, they just pretend to wipe us. They're actually patting us down, trying to see if they can pick anything from our pockets. And so yeah, we were actually being robbed, but luckily we didn't lose anything. But it was a fun experience. But actually, all other experiences in Paris is extremely happy. I love the food there, the atmosphere. Actually, the climate when I went there was great. The people were great. They were very friendly, and the place is just beautiful. Would really love to go back there. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, 72. I think
yeah.
we can begin.
Awesome.
Okay.
So how do we just answer questions, or want me maybe to talk a bit about?
I think usually I'm bored with the usual AMAs, so I'll just go. We can go for extremely quick introduction of yourself and a little bit about 9tales, and we can jump straight to the questions in the AMA. And
yes,
yeah.
Okay. So 9tales is basically an NFT project and card game that we have been building for more than a year right now. We have quite a big community. We did NFT sales, and we have always built the project and the game with the idea of making a card game that we would love to play ourselves and that would be rewarding to the people who are involved in the game. So our approach to the game itself is a bit different. We focused on really having like high quality art and assets that are built specifically for the game itself. So this is one of the first, I would say, specific things about us, and also we focused on like making a more sustainable economy inside the game. Let me maybe just share some of when I talk about the art, some of our art images. Oh, I don't know, maybe this one. And so the idea is that for us, we believe that like Web3 gaming is the future. We believe that card games are especially suitable for Web3 gaming. And given these two beliefs, we want to be like part of this future. So we want to build a game that will exist and like be played by people for like the years and years to come. So it's really like kind of a more long-term approach and a more like steady community building approach to the game. Regarding the details, the team, everything, I'll leave it to the questions so that like I don't bore you too much with the presentation and just answer as we go into the questions.
Learn a little bit more about yourself.
Oh yeah, me.
Yeah.
So I'm basically my name is Otman. I live in Paris. So I am a PhD researcher. I mean, was researcher. I have a PhD, but right now I'm fully working on 9tales. Basically, I've always like loved creating new things, building stuff. I got into content creation, made a very huge community of people who like new technologies, and used this content creation to introduce the play to earn genre to a large number of people. I had like more than 150,000 people following me in social media. And the thing is, I was like playing these were play to earn games, and like I saw the opportunity in them, but I was like very frustrated because to me like they didn't use this opportunity to the fullest, and especially the economy was like made in such a way that it was going to fall down very quickly, and this is what ended up happening. So from this frustration like was born the idea of creating 9tales. But other than that, like I did a lot of other like personal projects. I was a Axie Infinity manager / streamer, like organized tournaments, built communities around Axie Infinity, around other games such as Splinterlands, Titan Arena, and like other stuff. So before that, I was very much interested by poker. With Stack, who is here too. We built like poker programs and poker like optimal solvers for poker. We like many different adventures and side projects, I would say, but like now we are 100% focusing on 9tales.
Oh, another poker player. Do you want to play poker with us on Sunday? We have a poker event on Sunday. But
why not?
Love to. Well, I'll be sure to add you to the roll if you happen to have the. Well, it's just the same time now. 1 hour earlier on Sunday. Well, we have cash rewards for those who win, and I think my community will hate me for inviting 2 professional players now to play with them because they always lose. I just like to trash talk.
There is a lot of.
Yeah, well, I'm scared. I'm scared to do a cross-community poker event now because I think your community may be much more well prepared than ours. We are just a bunch.
I mean, it's a game where there is a lot of chance in poker. Still. You can still always win.
Yeah, we can always set the blinds to rise so fast that it's all luck. But yeah, okay. Well, thank you, Erwin, and well, the AMA question channel is flowing with a lot of questions.
Yeah.
You can take your pick, or
maybe I'll just try maybe to start from the top. Are there card NFT physical merch for collectors? We have merch that are more like goodies, so not playable cards, but they contain our art. We generally like give them to our holders when we meet them in events. So basically, if we go to an event and there are holders who come, we give them some nice goodies, cards,
Nice.
mugs, stuff like that. How do you level up your cards, and will you have other set of cards? So basically, the whole idea of leveling up cards is something that we want to have later on down the road, because what we want is to not be a pay to win game. So this is how we be a game that is friendly to everyone. You level up your cards by mixing multiple copies of the same card, and when you level up a card, it doesn't get stronger. It just gets more interesting for you from the financial perspective. It helps you earn more in the game. So that's the approach that we have. So we are not a pay to win. You cannot get stronger by buying more cards or stuff like that. Once you have a card, it's the same power of this card for everyone.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, that is a very interesting model, and it's cool.
Yeah, because exactly, I am myself a huge card games player, and I'm very frustrated when people can buy their way to win. And so this was the reason why we again we're making a game that we would love to play ourselves. So
it's incredible.
Thanks.
So that's a question of my own. I want to step in there.
Sure.
Where's your artist from?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, when you're building a card game like that with the amount of cards needed, it's never one artist doing everything. It would take just too long. Each card would take at least a full week or 2 weeks for an artist to make. So given that we have 150, that's just too much for one. But we have multiple artists. So we have a friend and artist who is advising us and who gives a general overview, who works at Riot Games. He's a senior artist at Riot Games. And yeah, maybe Stack can share his profile. If you play League of Legends, he made a lot of cool skins for League of Legends that you might have played with. And we have also an internal lead art director who was working on another card game before and joined us. He had more than 20 years of experience as an artist. And so with the art director, we choose different artists to work on cards. So we have 3 artists working internally, and then maybe game studios and outside contractors that each one of them is working on a card, and then we take everything, and our lead artist will make tweaks and stuff to make it into our style before publishing it.
Your artwork is amazing.
Thanks.
Well, cool. Okay, well, you can carry on. Sorry for bothering.
No. If you have any questions, so there was since a player gets airdrop that includes token and chest, in the chest, is there any chance that a player can get primordial NFT? That's a good question. Yeah, in the chest, basically the chest will contain cards, tokens, and other things. We have a set of primordial NFTs that are left for community events. We still don't know exactly how we will distribute those. We did a raffle for our holders a few months ago, where they get the chance to win 20 primordial NFTs. And given the second question, no, the player is not stronger if he holds the primordial NFTs, which are our most rare ones. We only have 50 of them. He just gets the chance to earn more. He will not beat you easier if he holds a primordial NFT. However, he will get more tokens inside the game. He will get more chances to win rare NFTs. He will get more, I would say, earning potential from the game. So that's for this. Oh my God, there are so many questions. Try to.
Yeah.
Can you
yeah,
a great community. Can you please explain the gameplay and roadmap clearly? I mean, the gameplay, it would take maybe a bit too much time to explain all the gameplay, but there is a quick tutorial video that shows just part of the gameplay. Again, cool. I'm not sure if we can share it, but yeah, we maybe the problem is that Stack just got kicked because he shared a link, so we cannot share links. Yeah,
I'll post it for you.
So yeah, the tutorial is made on a older version of the game, but at least it shows the gameplay. So that's for the gameplay. For the roadmap, I mean, it's pretty clear. 6th of November, basically, we launched the alpha version. Then in the alpha version, we will have our boxes system, where basically some partner communities and our holders will be able to earn a token. Then they can use this token to buy mystery boxes, and then you open the box and you will have prizes. So either whitelist NFTs, money prizes, so basically it, and like other stuff like Nitro, PlayStation. Like we just buying like basically for the first month we are buying like 50k or maybe a bit more worth of prizes and putting them in the boxes. So and then for the people to earn, and then if we get more players, we'll like create more boxes basically. The supply is quite low. Will you have a second generation? Well, we basically our total collection of NFTs is 10,000, and it's divided in 3 generations, like in 3 phases. The Genesis one, which sold out, the phase 1, which we sold half of it and are going to sell the other half later on, and then the phase 2, which will come later when we open the full version of the game. What's the advantage of the Genesis NFT? Well, that's a good question. Maybe our holders can answer more. But basically, the Genesis NFTs, they will inside the game, they will again give you access to earning. So if you hold the Genesis NFT and you play the game, you will get the chance to earn a lot more. And this will already show in the alpha version. Our holders who hold the Genesis NFT will earn the most tokens in the alpha version, so they will get to have the most boxes, and then they will get to open these boxes or resell them and get the prices inside them. But even before that, like right now in our Discord, we are doing a lot of whitelist partnerships and collabs, and our Genesis holders are always like the ones who get the most of it. They get access to free tools, they get access to a lot of cool NFTs and whitelist spots. And this is also one of the reasons why like they kept like our Genesis collection kept its value even in like the bear market. So it's been close to a year right now since we sold the Genesis NFTs, and they're still getting like holding their value. So yeah, that's for this. I didn't know about this project. I'm currently playing Legends of Runeterra. Good for you. I used to love Legends of Runeterra. I used to be a huge Legends of Runeterra player right now, but never got into Hearthstone Yu-Gi-Oh before. Do you think I can get? Yeah, I think yes. I think yes. Actually, Legends of Runeterra is quite is closer than Yu-Gi-Oh to us. So if you are a big Legends of Runeterra player, you might recognize some things that are similar, but then there are a lot of things that are different. But once you go to the tutorial, you will surely understand the game and everything. And yeah, Legends of Runeterra is a cool game. Are there any special abilities that creature cards have that are rare in other games? I'm curious because I think this part of the game will be. Yeah, that's a good question. So I think. So basically, because that's the thing, when you create a card game, you cannot like put all the weird effects in the first expansion. You have to start with an expansion that is a bit more like vanilla and that introduces the game and the rules. So in this first expansion, there are some cool effects, but like we didn't go for like the most craziest stuff because again, it's the first expansion. The thing is, the rules themselves are so different, so different from other games that it's already like a different game, a different challenge to understand it, to learn how to play it, to learn how to combine your cards and beat your opponent. That even if like the effects themselves are not like the craziest things, it's already a big enough difference with other games. Can you tell us the origin of the project name? Yeah, the project name 9tales, it stems from. I mean, the name itself like is kind of a joke with Arabic. So we are both also originally from Arabs. In Arabs, the word 9tales reads like killers, and they just love like the play on words. But it also comes like refers to the fact that there are 9 different races in the game. and each race has like specific cards. When you build your deck, you will be able to mix up to 2 races to create your own deck. So each race has its own play style. For the alpha version and the beta, the first expansion, we will have 3 races. So humans, elves, and orcs. But then we will add on to them until we get to the 9 races. Is your game already out? No, it's coming November 6th, the alpha version, the very first version of the game. How do you earn from the game? So basically, for the alpha version, what will happen is that you can earn by holding our NFTs or by being part of a partner project. Of course, like if you hold the NFTs, you will earn more. As a holder, basically, you will get into the game, you connect your wallet, and you will be able to choose each NFT you want to play with. Once you choose the NFT, it will appear as your avatar in the game. And also, for the alpha, it will start with just PvE. So you'll just play against the computer. The computer is not too strong. It's like middle strength. So once you win the game against the computer, you will get tokens. Then you can use these tokens to buy mystery boxes. And the earning part comes from the mystery boxes. It's kind of like a game of luck. There are some big rewards inside these boxes, and there are like some middle ground rewards. And so as a NFT holder, you will have an allocation of games you can play every day. So each day you can come in, play your games, get token, go buy boxes. Will there also be tournaments? Yes. Our goal is to introduce PvP as soon as possible. Once we create our PvP servers, we will start organizing tournaments. The whole goal of 9tales is to like democratize esports. The idea is that the competitive system that we are building, where everyone can go into our competitive games and play against other players for big rewards, means that like you don't need to be a professional player or anything. Anyone can get into competitive games. So this is like the main difference that we are trying to introduce in gaming. Yeah, I don't know if Laura, if you want to add something or have any other questions.
Oh, wow. I'm just helping you looking at all the questions the guys are trying to answer already. Your godfather and Tackle was trying to answer some of the community questions, which is great. Signs of a great
Nice
team that helps out because our server is tend to have really chatty people and they like to answer questions. So I usually do AMAs for 4 hours because they keep asking questions.
Oh my god!
But I'll try to not have you here till too long. But let me see. Actually, yeah. So for the alpha, so do I need to hold your cards to access the alpha? Is there any requirement for me to access?
No, you can play the alpha for free. You don't need to hold anything. You don't even need to have a wallet or anything. You can just come in. It will be web hosted. But if you want to earn from the alpha and get those boxes and open them and see what's inside, then you have to have an NFT or be from a partnered project. So, but you can try the game, and we will start the alpha with 3 different decks. So you will have directly access to like 60 cards in 3 different decks that you can play with. After that, we will introduce like deck building so that you are able to create your own decks, and then PvP and so on. And basically, once we launch the alpha, every 2 weeks, we will add a feature so that people can like get to know the game and discover it. And every 2 weeks, there is something new they can come in and play.
That's cool. Deck building is the most fun thing to do. I think in card games for me, it's just love building. Yeah. It's always I look because I like playing strategy games all the time, and formulating the strategy is always a fun part, a very fun part of the game for me. So building decks, formulating strategies, and executing them if I manage to execute them, is always very fun for me. And I would every card game I see, I read the deck building gameplay and how it works for me. Okay, let me see if there are any interesting questions out there. I think I see one comparing you guys to because one of the most early games out there in Web3 is also the Gods Unchained and everything. So there's several people asking like, how do you distinguish 9tales from Gods Unchained? But
that's a valid question. Gods Unchained, I mean, Gods Unchained doesn't have like a tremendous amount of players, but compared to Web2 games, but it has the largest part in Web3 card games. I'm not like into like tearing down other projects and saying they are really bad. I think Gods Unchained is a good game. I played it. It's okay. The main reason why I wasn't a fan of Gods Unchained, and if you are a card game player, like it's objectively true. Gods Unchained is a carbon copy of Hearthstone. So as someone who played Hearthstone for like 6 years, I wanted to try something new and not just play a Hearthstone that has NFTs on top of it. So I think that this is like the main thing that distinguishes also 9tales from Gods Unchained, apart from like the whole competitive side and what we call compete to earn, is the fact that 9tales is a card game that has mechanics that don't exist in other games. The gameplay is like totally different. The strategies that you have to use are different. It's a new experience, and games like Gods Unchained and Skyweaver too, to some extent, maybe a bit less than Gods Unchained, but it's still a copy of Hearthstone. Like they came in with this idea of we are the Hearthstone of Web3. So we use the exact same rules, the exact same ingredients. We just change the art and add NFTs on top of it. And we are coming in as we are our own game. We are an original game, and you happen to live in Web3, but like this is just some part of the identity of 9tales.
See.
So yeah, I think that answers a lot of questions that were around this, like Gods Unchained. I've played Skyweaver. Yeah, I played Skyweaver. I just gave my opinion on it. What are the new things? Yeah, what's the main utility of this? This is I already answered. What will your community get by playing the game? I think I already answered to some extent. This is I already answered. Does that mean?
Well, I mean, that's something I like to ask, and that's
Yeah, sure.
something more about the community side of things, because for me, the community is as more important as the game itself. So you said you had when you were in your PhDs and stuff, you had a large academic community before, and you used the expertise, and you also told them about NFTs and everything. I got a lot of them in. So what do you see? What do you see the main difference between NFT communities and the Web2 communities that you built back in the days? Is there any insights or differences that you want to share to the different types of people you meet in NFT communities versus the ones in Web2 academic communities?
I think that it's kind of like in Web3, it's a bit more extreme, I would say. So basically, in Web3 communities, there are two kind of people, in my opinion. And we've seen this like firsthand when we were going to our mint. Like we had like a insane hype. People were like typing in the chat every second, and like you knew that like a lot of those people, they were here to get whitelist, to be able to flip the NFTs and stuff like that. So you have a lot of people who are just like that. They really like try to hope from project to project as they are going to mint, and like fake, I would say, the sense of community. But on the other hand, you have also people who like really stick to a project to the point where like they become like family in some sense. Like you see them every day in the Discord, you speak with them every day in the Discord. And this doesn't happen in Web2. I mean, maybe it happens in some niche projects or games, but in general, you won't find like people who like come in every day to the League of Legends Discord and like they speak with their friends and they discuss the state of League of Legends. Except if they are like professional players or they want to be professional players or something like that. So in Web3, I think it's easy to get a lot of people following you and stuff like that. It's a bit harder to get like the true believers, but in Web3, the true believers are real believers and people who will be there for you whatever happens, compared to Web3.
I can relate. And I have to say, well, yeah, I think compared to a lot of the games that I see in the projects, especially those after mint, or even so long after mint, your community definitely still has a lot of traction, and it's incredible. And I share every single sentiment you have regarding the fervor of the Web3 people. At first, there's a bunch of people getting whitelisted, trying to flip and everything. And then after they're all gone, those who remain are really, really, some of them are really insane. They practically live here. And yeah, it's incredible. It also encourages. It's really inspiring, and it's very encouraging because we've been developing our game for 6 years, almost 7 years, and we didn't have any recognition for the past 6 years. I mean, we only began showing the game in December. And after all these years, for over 30 people here who have been in the company for 6 years to work on a project, not knowing when it's coming out, or always having to rework the prototype, and then finally they meet the light of the day. It's a very humbling experience, and to get community recognition and to see the community, it encourages them, and it's really great. But of course, all the money and everything also puts a lot of pressure onto the developers to really, as the longer you work on a project and the moment you have to show it, a lot of people get very nervous. I mean, I've never seen them cram so much material in a single month or something. So they're just everyone is just trying to put everything they can before the finish line, and because I mean, but it's online. I mean, people can still edit and we can still update the game, but still it's the first showing, so everyone is a little more tight. Some people are happy, some people are exhausted, some people are nervous, but it's really exciting. So the moment I hear you have an alpha, I would have to congratulate you, because it's the game development is no easy task, no matter what genre it is, and it requires a lot of hurdles and everything. And I'm really happy that you guys made it all the way here.
Thanks.
And I'll be there to be sure to support fellow Web3 developers the best I can. I'll buy some Genesis cards. and actually, when's your second mint for the Genesis, for the new ones? I think would love to get on the mints, because those money go to the developer.
Thank you so much.
But when is the second mint?
So basically, we didn't fix a date. We just want to launch the game. I'm fully focused on that. And once we launch the game and like get more players and people interested, we will like set a date depending on how quickly we grow and everything. We don't want to like say, oh, it's 20th of November, because we want to have like the feedback of the players before.
Oh.
Thanks.
Godfather is a very dedicated mod. Almost there to answer every question.
Yeah.
Give him a down to earth mark here for those
FPS as a direct competition. So is the game for so the alpha version will be on PC only, but we are actually building the game on PC, iOS, and Android at the same time. So when we launch the beta with monetization, it will come in all three devices. Is it similar with Hearthstone in the game? Oh yeah, so yeah, your champion in 9tales does not have like an attack or something like you would see in Hearthstone. We are more focused on other things. For instance, in 9tales, the board that you put your cards in, has a level that will change, and the level of your board will also decide like how strong the cards you can play. Like we decide like how quickly you can play strong cards. So basically it's a different gameplay, I would say. Oh, this is a very good question. Will we have like a one person, one account or KYC requirement? If not, players will create many accounts, then inflation might happen. How do we solve this problem? This is a very good question. So first of all, this is something that we had in mind like since the very beginning. There won't be no inflation. The reason is the following. Basically, of course, we won't allow multi-accounting, but like as you know, some people will like go on and do crazy stuff to multi-account, so you cannot like monitor everyone. But it doesn't really matter in our case for two main reasons. First of all, the game is free to play, and people will be able to earn, but like the earning potential of people who are playing for free is very small. So we are not like distributing the same amount to everyone. The people who will be able to earn the most are those who are holding our NFTs, but there is just a finite number of NFTs. There is just 10,000 NFTs in total. So you can multi-account if you want, but if you don't have multiple NFTs, you won't be earning a lot. And then there are the people who play competitively. And in the competitive games, you have to actually be good at the game. So it doesn't really matter again if you are going to multi-account. If you are not very good at the game, well, you are not going to earn that much. So at the end of the day, there are like basically three types of players. There are like people who are playing for free or just buying cards here and there because they like the game and want to play it for fun, and they will be able to earn, but really not a lot. There are then the players who are playing by holding our NFTs, who are involved, who level up their cards and everything, and those will be able to earn much more. But again, only 10,000 NFTs. And then there are the competitive players, and those are actually competing between themselves to earn. So like only the best among them will be able to earn a lot. And this is quite different from like a system in an Axie Infinity or other games where like anyone can come, get into the game, buy some assets, and start earning. So yeah, and our token has no inflation, so it's a stationary supply.
So what do you envision the people who win at the top? How would they spend their tokens?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, it's up to them. I think that again, we come from a kind of a poker background. What happens in poker is that like you have people who, I mean, it's more like directly geared toward money. But you have people who play poker for fun. They still lose money here and there, but they like the thrill, they like the gameplay and everything, so they still compete in poker. You have people who are like break even, so they win sometimes, they will lose sometimes, and so on. And then you have the people who like are really big winners and very good at the game, and those like they study the game, they are competitive, and they earn from it. And I think for 9tales it's kind of the same. Like the people who are going to be real winners and earn a lot in the competitive games are those who will spend the time to learn the game, create the decks and everything. The other people, most of them will be like kind of break even or maybe losing a bit or winning a bit depending on the day, and it's okay. I mean, they are still enjoying it and getting to earn from it from time to time. The use case of the token is inside our game is basically buying cards, buying assets, and participating in competitive games. So you will have to use the token to participate in the competitive games. You will have to use the token to buy different cards and assets. You don't use the token directly to get into the competitive games. You actually buy something that we call divine shards, and then you can spend those divine shards to get into competitive game.
I see. So can I buy anytime I want, or is there a limit to the amount I buy per season, or is there?
No, we won't have a limit. I mean, you can get into as many competitive games as you want, as long as you have like these divine shots.
Are the shots tradable?
The shots are in-game token, so it's not tradable. But when you win in competitive games, you get our cryptocurrency, which is tradable.
Let's see. And the cryptocurrency is used to buy new cards and
buy shots, buy new cards, do all the stuff inside the game. But the thing is, there is no inflation because you have to like spend money to get money at each time. There is no like money created out of thin air, right?
That's what I want to ask, because the moment I look at the cards, I want to flip it behind and see if there's a story behind it. Are there stories behind every character in there?
Yeah, we are heavily involved in the lore because we want to like really create an IP and a universe. So there are like quite a lot of stories. The cards will have like the vanilla text that will talk a bit about the story, but we hope that like later down the road we'll be able to make some animated videos and things like that to talk about a bit more about the stories.
Where can I read the stories?
So for now we have one article in our Discord, which is also audio and read, so you can listen to it. That tells about the stories of like each one of the 9 races. And we also.
Which channel can I see that?
It's so you have to let me check. You have to actually go to our website, and then to go to the blog. And in the blog there is a blog post about the story. It's the very first one, The Chronicles of Tuba the Great Explorer. I cannot share links, so
I got it. I'll find it and then.
Yeah, thanks.
I got it.
So we are living okay, so any other are there any other NFTs to buff it up? Is their strength equal? Oh, okay. This was like a long conversation between Stack and someone. What do you prefer to your game? 5 million players or 5 million? I mean, if you know the statistic of games, you would say 5 million players. 5 million players is a lot more than $5 million. Like, it's insanely more. Okay, so I think I answered. Is there an in-game chat when you're in PvP or like an emote? We are going to build emotes. That's something in the pipeline. We're trying to avoid like having in-game chat because we know that it can be a lot of the time the in-game chat becomes very toxic, especially when there is a game with some RNG and you lose to it, or you win with it and then your opponent is not very happy. But we are going to have emotes.
The emotes. Trash talking is essential.
Exactly. Okay, I think I answered most of the questions. Then there are like some that are repeated.
Yeah.
If you are any other.
I think you got most of them here. Well, let me take a look at your community, because I'm actually interested in how you shape the community. I like to spend a lot of time with the community, but I always come up with these random weird ideas, and I just keep adding channels to it, and my community is now flooded with many different channels.
Yeah, that's like... Yeah, let's talk about that.
So, let's see. I heard you guys do poker regularly.
Yeah, we do poker. I mean, it came like from the community itself. We used to do a lot of different games, but many people in our community really loved poker, and since we have some experience, they were asking us for advice and everything, and so we made like a traditional poker games every week. But it's almost every day we have poker games, and people can actually play for coins. The coins in our Discord are basically rewards that are given to our holders. They can claim coins each day, and then when we do something like NFTs drop or whitelist collaboration, or we do like a merch drop like we did before, they can come in and use their coins to buy these items.
Hey, so I see you had a poker tournament with Sufers against 9tales. How does it work when two communities play in a poker tournament?
It depends. Stack organizes these most of the time. So, for instance, generally it's like 2 or 3 communities, like us plus maybe 2 communities, and we pull together a prize pool. So each like project gives part of the prize pool, and then we just like organize either a big tournament, or like each community organizes a small tournament, and then the top 5 or top 10 from each community play in another tournament, and then we distribute this to the winners. So yeah,
Yeah.
we
I was
also
just
used
thinking
to
of how
do
they can win against each other.
sorry.
I was just thinking if there's a rule that you guys have to fight against each other, or there's a way that you guys organize the table so it's always like
It's
that.
kind of random. Like sometimes you can have the winners from, but we try like to give a chance to each community. So this is why like each community will do its own tournament, and then the winners in these tournaments will go to like the larger one. We also used to do like treasure hunts. These were like very successful. Like generally between a few hundred people participating in the treasure hunts, and we did them with some other communities at some point too. And so like there were like hints that people had to look for inside the Discord of each community, and try to find the hints, and then the winner would get a prize.
We did one scavenger hunt back then when we did our first mint. Oh, I wonder why
Nice.
we didn't do one here now. Yeah, it's we have so many events. Oh, everyone is exhausted. Maybe I think I should focus down on maybe a fewer events, but for each event we could do
it
better.
takes time to organize.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
So, who's the best poker player in your server?
I mean, Stack is very good because he had learned for a long time. So I think it's him.
Well, looking
my
forward to have
close,
Stacks in our Sunday poker to see if he can prove himself over there. I'll try to tell the game master to slow down the race so he can get more hands in. Otherwise, we'll race too fast and he'll get it's all just luck. Oh wow, there are new cards. Awesome.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically that's 9tales. That's what we are building. I didn't talk a lot about the gameplay. I don't know to which extent like your community knows about card games and everything, but like the tutorial video that you posted, I'll tag it again. It shows part of the difference in our gameplay compared to others, to other games. So that's already.
But these guys are the guys. Most of these guys are the guys that you that we talked about. These are the guys that are really loyal and they are very big fans and they do their own research. I mean, these are guys that actually stay behind and they are the passionate ones that will do their own research. So I always say don't have to go into deep details. I mean, it's people will have to do their own research. You spark their interest and they'll go and take a look in a way. And I'm sure our communities will be doing events. I'll definitely do a poker with you guys very soon.
Sure. Well, welcome.
Yeah. I think if possible, I mean the next poker tournament we can invite more holders here and get more rewards from different communities and join one big pool. Maybe, but usually, we're trying to do finals table gets most of the rewards and the winner also gets something extra is what we go now. So more rewards for more people instead of everything goes to the winner. Although if you ask me, I prefer everything goes to the winner. It's more exciting that way. But yeah, let's see. Don't want to hold up too much of your time. I think you already answered a lot. And Godfather is super. I mean, my God.
Yeah, we have
Is
some
Godfather
incredible
also is Godfather also French?
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
No, it's not.
so incredible.
Uh,
Where do you find these guys?
I mean, some of our mods were with us like since the very start. So like it's been more than a year ago that they've been working with us. So it's like one big family at this point. So
Well, I understand that because I have a lot of mods that help me do that, and other AMAs when I jump there, they'll help me answer, especially in the foreign language ones. They just help me answer a lot. That's cool. It's a good sign that you have a good community, a good organic community, and I think our people can feel that. Yeah, well, thank you for coming here.
Thank you so
Any
much.
final words you want to share with us today?
Yeah, just like welcome to our Discord. You can come in. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. We're like looking forward to seeing you inside the game, November 6th. Yeah, and we always it's always an open community. Sorry?
Is there a chat in the game?
Right now, no. But in our Discord, like if you have any questions, if you have anything you want to learn about, yeah, feel free to drop by and ask them.
For Alpha, is it strictly PvP or will there be some PvP?
So basically, the first version of the alpha that we will launch will only have PvE, and then we will add PvP as a feature. So first we'll add like deck building, then we'll add PvP, then we'll start organizing tournaments in the PvP.
Oh, if it's PvE only, but you are also doing play and earn, you have to set the enemy to be pretty damn hard. I would suggest.
Yeah, the idea is that like the first few weeks, like 1 or 2 weeks, I mean, people are like kind of discovering the rules and everything. So like it's easier to just play against the AI and try the different decks, and then we can like add deck building so that people start like experimenting with decks, and then when we add the PvP, they already like know the rules, understand the system and everything.
For the AI enemy, can I adjust the difficulty, or is it one difficulty?
That's a good question. So basically we have like a normal mode where you play against the AI, and then a special mode that is kind of like a survival mode where like the AI will get stronger and it will never die. So the goal would be like to survive as long as possible against this.
So do I earn tokens on both modes, or do I only earn on the survival mode?
For now, the earning the tokens will be just like on the easy mode where you just play against a simple AI. The survival mode we will have a ranked system, and then we will reward like the top people in the ranks. Like
nice.
So that's yeah.
Legit.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sounds great. Well, I'll be there.
Thank you, guys.
November 6th. And yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for your time, and thank you for inviting me over to your server as well.
Thank you so much.
Your holders, I got a little parting gift. I opened up I'm opening up a special channel called Born of 9tales. It's up top. You'll be able to see it now. So to those who participated in the AMA, or if you're just listening now, go up to the top of the channels and Ascension. There's a Born of 9tales. Click in there. Click the my button, and you'll get the role. It's a special role. It's not a role actually. We call it a mark. A mark in Apeiron, you collect 4 marks, and you can exchange whitelists, you can exchange NFTs, or you can exchange funny emblems that's immediately tradable or collectible. So it gets you a head start in the community if you like to stay. If not, just treat it as a little role to keep. And I'll leave it open for a while so you guys can take a look at it. We have a whole bunch of things to do in the community, and I'm sure I'm going to take a look at 9tales and see how you structure the community, because I really love to learn more about this everywhere I go.
Yeah, okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay. Have a nice day. Goodbye.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for participating, everyone, and have a good night, guys and girls and dudes, dudettes. And thank you, Stack Over the Flop. Hope you guys can make it to the Sunday poker tournament if you have time. No pressure if you can make it.
Sure,
we'll play that next. We'll play next month when we organize a bigger tournament, poker tournament with different game communities.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Cool.
something that we need to organize for sure.
Sure. I
Right.
actually have to organize one of all the gaming guilds as well. The founders would love to play a round table. Okay. Thank you. Have a
Thank
great
you.
night.
Have a
great
great
day, actually, over in France. Right.
Bye.
All right. An interesting project. I think this is actually one of the ones that's more legit. And they even have an alpha coming. Should take a look. And the economic model sounds good. Let's see how the token will go. Okay. Well, to go back and finish up the work I have to prepare for the day. I don't think I'll be sleeping today. I have a lot of work. Well, see you guys on tomorrow. Is that tomorrow? Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Well, have a great one. I'll be heading straight back to work after I answer some DMs. Oh my god, and you have 12 DMs for me here. What the heck? Okay. Try not to DM me too much, guys, until after the mints. No, it's okay. You guys can DM me. I just have a shit ton of work waiting for me to complete. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. See you guys. Good night.